Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League. This is the 100% Racing Championship. Round 8 takes us to Australia. Well, after qualifying yesterday, that happened. Dixon put his car on pole position with Big Boss Bells alongside. Then it's Amaguna and Eat My Dust on the second row. And the top 4 drivers on the grid will start on the medium compound because that's the tyre compound they set their fastest time in Q2. And apparently Dixon was fastest in all 3 quali runs, and lots of people crashed out. Dixon took pole with Big Boss Bells in second place. Or every race so far, so he's not finished in the top at every race, he's finished in the top 6, I should say. So in fact it's round 7 of the championship, not round 8. My apologies. I'm still waiting on drivers to make their way through and just select their strategy at the moment. So if you have joined us, we do welcome you. Feel free to get involved in the conversation. Do like and subscribe. So just a quick rundown on the calendar. We've only got a fair few races left now of this season. So we've had Brazil, or Sao Paulo I should say, Monza, Shanghai, Red Bull Ring. And now it's, I think we've just had Spa actually, which was last week. Oh no, that's, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong calendar, aren't I? My apologies. So far we've had Bahrain, Brazil, Austria, Azerbaijan, Silverstone, Spa, and now we're at Australia. We go to Barcelona next week, and then Portimao is scheduled on the 9th of October, and then the final round on the 16th will be one of the DLC tracks. We expect that to be Imola. And what a venue it will be to be hosting the final round of the season. Can't wait for it. So in regards to the Drivers' Championship at the moment, after the round at Spa, Big Boss Bells has a big lead in the Drivers' Championship. 75 points it is over Dixon. We'll make that 74 now because Dixon's taken pole. And then you go back to Vamu, who is now another 44 points adrift over Eckhart. So there's a battle for third place going on. So it looks like it's going to be either Big Boss Bells or Dixon taking the title, but it looks very much within Big Boss Bells' grasp this season. 6 races. 2 wins in the second place to his name is contributed to his championship total. So we're in the pit lane now, just waiting for the race to commence. We should get underway with a formation lap. So a run down on the grid then. Dixon on pole ahead of Big Balls Wells, and it's Guna and Eat My Dust on the second row, followed by Dylan and Ginge, who's left the lobby at the moment, but hopefully we'll see him back before the race begins. Then it's the Legend of AIDS and Statistic King on row 4, followed by Wild Dog and Page, with Will and Exotic Alpha making up row 6, followed by Jackson and Max. Leclerc and Melios are on row 8, ahead of Marcel and Rosie, with Quick Killer at the back. We'll run through the grid just to make sure in case there's any other changes to what's been given to me here. And in terms of the weather conditions, we're expecting a dry race throughout. So the game will eventually get the 30-second countdown on. So the countdown has begun. Mimam Moody has actually left the session. Hopefully we'll be back in before the race does finally get underway. I wonder who will lead the cars into turn 1. So off we go for the formation lap. So who is starting on what then in terms of tyres? Well, the top 4, as I mentioned, are on mediums, as are Page, Max and Marcel. All the others are on the soft compound. So here's your grid then for the race. Dixon and Big Boss Bells, the top 2 in the championship, line up on the front row next to each other. Then it's Guna and Eat My Dust on the second row, followed by Dylan and Ginge. We've got Terades and Statistic King on row 4, followed by Wild Dog and Page. Will and Exotic Alpha make up the 6th row. Then it's Max and Leclerc. Melios and Marcel are next, followed by Rosie and Mimam Moody on row 9. And the Warrior and Quick Killer are your drivers making up the 20 involved. And Mimam Moody's car is controlled by the AI at the moment, as is Ginge, I think, as well. So we're hoping to see those two back in the action before we go lights out here. This should be an entertaining Australian Grand Prix. Albert Park, Melbourne, host of the Australian Grand Prix from 1996 to 2019. It will, of course, be scheduled for next year. Whether it will actually be going ahead, we'll have to wait further down the line, as travel restrictions have been preventing a lot of international sport being held in the country, including this wonderful event that is hosted the opening round of the Formula 1 World Championship a total of 22 times. So Dixon lines in his pole position slot. You can see all the other drivers making their way back onto the grid now. So Dixon is raring to go from pole position. Can he complete another victory? He won from 15th on the grid at Spa 7 days ago. Can he do it again from pole this time? He needs to watch Big Boss Bells alongside him, though. We expect to see a lot of drivers tussling over track position through turns 1 to 2. The 5 red lights appear in front of the drivers. When they go out, we'll be racing here in Australia. It's lights out, and away we go. And Dixon gets off the line well, and he's going to lead into turn 1 first. Can Big Boss Wells keep hold of second place? He's got the Ferrari of Guna going right around the outside, but Big Boss Wells has kept hold of second place, so Dixon leads. Coming out of turn 2, as does Big Boss Wells in second place. My Dust is in third place now, ahead of Guna, who's dropped back a couple of positions as Dylan makes his way through. Ginger's car is still controlled by the AI at the moment, so we'll just wait for him to get back in. And Statistics King up into 6th place as well. And surprisingly, all the drivers seem to have behaved so far, as Marcel and the Warrior have got caught up in a bit of a few shenanigans in that. And now we go back to the leaders as we watch My Dust is about to lose 3rd place to Dylan. So Dylan on the soft compound, making his way past. Someone's gone off in sector 2. It looks like Leclerc in the Red Bull has gone round. So he's already on the back foot. Front wing gone from him. So Dixon making his way through. Now do all the others make their way through this tricky part of the racetrack? I think they all have done so far. And the Warrior going right round the outside of Page actually to get through and up to 17th position. But the leaders are coming around to complete lap 1 with Dixon in the lead. Dylan making a phenomenal start. Is right with Big Boss Bells as they go through the pit straight. And Will's gone round in the Aston Martin. Has he lost it on the pit straight? I wonder. He has done. And he rejoins in what is now 19th. And someone's gone off. It's Guna this time. Oh, there's carnage. There's a Mercedes in there as well. It's Statistic King. And it looks like one of the Williams has spun round as well. Is that an AlphaTauri? I think it's an AlphaTauri that's gone round. Page is having to take evasive action. And yeah, Max has gone for a spin. He went for a spin on the formation lap actually. It's not got any better from there. So Dixon continuing to lead at the moment, with Dylan now up to 2nd place ahead of Big Boss Bells. We didn't see the move, but we know the result of it. So Dylan having a cracking race so far, showing some strong pace in that Red Bull machine. And the leaders are approaching chicane of 11 and 12. Big Boss Bells needs to be careful here. And one of the Ferraris has gone off. Is that Guna who's gone for another spin, I think? Yes, it is. And Max continuing to have his own melodies in the AlphaTauri. He's got going again, though. And someone else, I believe, has gone off. It's Quick Killer, I think, has had a moment. Oh, and the Warriors got through on him anyway. But yeah, there's going to be more pit stops coming as Quick Killer comes in. I think Statistic King likewise, as will Guna, I would imagine. And Guna's just continuing to go off the racetrack. Yeah, he's definitely damaged his front wing. So as we watch Dixon lead Dylan. Gap is under a second at the moment. The DRS has been enabled. There are 3 DRS zones on this track. One in between turn... Oh, when Guna's out of the race, he stopped. Has he stopped in the pits? No, he's crashed out, actually. And it's enough to bring out the virtual safety car. So he's crashed into the pit wall. Yeah, he's just carried too much speed into there, and his race is over. So we've got a virtual safety car now. Don't suppose we're going to be seeing pit stops from any of the drivers. They need to make sure they stick to the VSC Delta, otherwise drive-through penalties will be dished out. Wild Dog has been given a time penalty for track limits. And Dylan decides that the opportunity is right for him to come in. But it's going to be dropping back a hell of a lot, actually, as he slows down to the 60 km/h pit lane limit here in Melbourne. So out he goes. Can he get out in front of Marcel, I wonder? No, he won't. No, he's going to drop quite a long way back, actually. We're not back underway yet, but we are now. So Dylan rejoins in 14th place. So Dixon in the race lead. So Big Boswell's back into second place now. I think Dylan's going to struggle at this point, actually, with the mediums he's on. He's right behind me, Moody already, so he may be able to dispose of him rather quickly. His car is controlled by the AI at the moment, so he'll get past him easily, and he will get past Ginge as well. So Terade's behind Eat My Dust as the pair fights over what is third place now, and that's the is that an AlphaTauri in there? It's Exotic Alpha who's right behind them, and looks like Leclerc's gone off again in the Red Bull. He's going to fall a lap down shortly. So Emidos is in third place now as Exotic Alpha looks to get a run on the Williams of Terades before they get to turn 3. No way through there. And Leclerc's out of the race. He's crashed out this time. And that has brought out the first safety car of the race. Pushed too hard, hit the wall, and his race is over. So another miserable race for Leclerc. Ends in the barriers. He's only finished once this season. 19th place finish in the second race of the season. By the way, he goes no further. So what will Dixon decide to do then? We know what the soft runners will do. But they all need to make sure they don't exceed the delta. So Dixon stays out. What about Big Balls Bells? Does he decide to stay out as well? Yes, he does. He might does also. So your top 10 so far. Dixon had a Big Balls Bells, then it's Eat My Dust, Terades, Exotic Alpha, Wild Dog, Mielios, Rosie, Warrior, and Marcel. There's a long way to go yet in this race. But in regards to the championship, 74 points before the race had started. And Dixon would, at the moment, close in by 8 more points. So cut the gap down to 66. Going into the next round in Barcelona. Max gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I would say the same. It may be one more lap, just depends how quick Statistic King and Matt do catch up. turns, heading towards turn 11 now, so I think the safety car may well be coming in at the end of this lap. It's the Aston Martin safety car which is being deployed on this track. Now Dixon hoping to close in the gap in the championship. It's a slim chance at the moment, given that Dixon's already missed 3 races. The safety car is still out there at the moment, so I think it could well be going round for one more lap, but we'll see. I think it's going to go round for one more lap. And Marcel's been penalised for a collision with Will under the safety car. So 4 drivers with time penalties at the moment. And everyone is caught up now, so the safety car should go in at the end of this. I think Max has come back into the pits. I think this is his 5 seconds time penalty over and done with. So out onto the circuit he goes. So in case you're wondering why we're under safety car conditions, well, it's because of Leclerc crashing out at this section that Dixon's going through now. Leclerc joining Gunnar on the sidelines. Both cars out of the race. 18 still running, although 2 of them are controlled by the AI. They are Ginge and Mima Moody, who are in 13th and 14th positions. And so the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So Dixon will slow down, as will Big Boss Bells, as will Eat My Dust, as will Terades, and the rest. And Dixon will pull away when he is ready to do so. Now, there are some on the softs. They'll be aiming to go further now, thanks to the safety car. A lot of them will try and do a one-stop, but it just depends how far they can take the tyres. And Exotic has been penalised for causing the collision, as has other drivers like Terades. But we're back on the way then in Australia. And Dixon leads, with Big Boss Wells in second place. Exotic Alva into the pits for a new front wing, as Dylan looks to make a move. And looks like, is that Big Boss Bells has just had a spin? Yeah, he's just had a moment as Big Boss Bells, and he's rejoined ahead of Terades. So Big Boss Bells making a mistake on the restart, as we watch Dylan think about a move on Will ahead. He has to wait behind. And now Paige looking to make her move as Eat My Dust has gone off somewhere. He's had a moment on the exit of turn 5. And now he's getting swamped by the whole field. I wonder if he's got front wing damage to his car. Yes, he has. On the right-hand side there, look. So Quick Killer should get through on him, as well as Ginge. Statisticking also going past. And Dixon now with a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Bulldog trying to keep his car on the track at the moment. And in sector 3, someone's had a spin at turn 13 by the looks of things, but it's cleared up anyway. So Bulldog going to the inside here, look, trying to fend off Emilio as he goes past him through turn 1, and that's him up into 4th position. Now Rosie looking to make her move. Bulldog moves across to close the door. And now we see Will overtaking Marcel to go up into 8th place. Oh, Dylan getting nudged to the side there by Marcel, who should have seen him there and should have been giving him more space. Marcel, who's already... I was always going to say he's already been in the pits, but it's not. It's Statistic King, his teammate, who's already been in the pits. So Dylan is going to go to the outside here. Will Marcel leave him room? Yes, he will. Dylan to the outside, and he goes through. And Wild Dog's dropping back like a stone here. He's making mistakes coming out of the corners, and Rosie's gone up to 5th place. The Warrior now 6th. So Dylan making his way back through the field at the moment. Dixon with a new fastest lap as Rosie runs wide. She got the power down coming out of the penultimate turn. The Warrior looks to get through here. On the inside, does he go through? Yes, he does. Nice. Back. Oh no, that's a glitch, sorry. But he's gone for a spin now as the Warrior, oh, and Wild Dog has lost it. Nearly there, had to take to the grass, but the Warrior's dropped down the order. So that's a shame for him. As Wild Dog fending off the Aston Martin of Will, who's trying to go right round the outside there. Oh, contact made between Will and Dylan. Dylan had to take to the grass. Sostegava posted a new fastest up as well in the AlphaTauri. So we're on lap 11 out of 58. So there's Will thinking about a move on Wild Dog at the moment. Therese is right behind Big Boss Bells as well. He's using the DRS. I think Dylan will be using the DRS as well to try and get in front of Will, who's trying to get in front of Wild Dog, who's just picked up another penalty for track limits. And the Warrior's gone off the track in the Ferrari, and he's damaged his front wing as well. So that's him off into the pits. So Therese trying to get through on Big Boss Bells. So Will thinking about a move. Gonna make it through turn 6. Don't think he'll do it from there. Trying to gain all the time he can to get in front of that Alfa Romeo. He knows he's quicker than him at the moment, but he just can't find a way past. Next to the grass there. Now Will trying to get... Oh, and Wild Dog's in the wall! Wild Dog has hit the barrier on the exit of turn 12. And I'm amazed that his race was not ended on the spot. His front wing's gone. And Dylan looking to get past Will here. And he's done so and up into 6th place. Rosie's next up behind, or in front I should say, as Wild Dog makes his way back to the pits for a new nose cone. So Dixon's lead is 6.5 seconds. Remember, he does have that time penalty which will be applied to his time at the end of the race. With being a track limits penalty, he can't take that at his next pit stop. That's just how the game works, unfortunately. So Dylan in 6th place, ahead of Exotic Other. He's just been given a track limits penalty, but it's Will and Marcel next behind him. And Wild Dog into the wall there. He's pushing too hard, carrying too much speed into there. So Max through on Quick Killer, who's gone for a spin on the exit of turn 2 and is rejoined. Looks like Wild Dog has gone off yet again in the Alfa Romeo. So Terades behind Big Boss Bells as they make their way through turn 12. Big Boss Bells very nearly losing it there. Looks like is that Exotic Alpha has gone for a spin. It is. And I don't know if he's wrecked his front wing there. Can't really see, but yeah, either way, it's not helped his race by any means. So Terades looks to get through here on Big Buzz Bells into second. And Wild Dog's gone for another spin. Needs to watch out for the leaders coming through here. I think we could well be seeing Wild Dog back in the pits and retiring if I'm honest. And Sisskin going to the outside here of the Aston Martin of Quick Killer. But no, we can't make the move stick at this moment of time. And the Quick Killer's had quite a rocky season so far. Sixth place in the championship, which is contributed by a best finish of 4th in the second race. That'll have been in Brazil, I believe, where he picked up that result. So the first round would have been in Bahrain. So Sister King looking to get through here on Quick Killer. No way through at the moment. As Rosie pits from 6th position, and she gets the car slowed down in time. Where will she rejoin, I wonder? Out she goes, and she'll rejoin behind the McLaren of Page. As Will's gone for a spin, and that's his front wing completely gone. So Rosie will need to watch out for that, because that front wing can easily cause a puncture. And as you can see, Statiskin trying to get through there. Will be making his way back to the pits. Dixon continues to lead by 9 seconds now. And Quick Killer has gone for a spin. It's been a disastrous lap for Aston Martin. Will goes back ahead of him. Page goes up another position, as does Rosie. But he's going from bad to worse for Aston Martin now as Mielios comes into the pits, so that elevates Dylan up another position. Medium tyres going on. He'll rejoin ahead of Will, I believe, or Statistic King, who's just going past. So Mielios will rejoin in front of Page. So Mielios looking for another good result. So Mielios' best result has been a 6th place finish in rounds 4 and 6. He missed the opening 3 rounds, but he's done very well to get himself up into 8th in the standings. Someone's gone off in sector 3. Not sure who that is. It's cleared away quickly anyway. Will is into the pits, and out he goes. And it looks like Quick Killer has spun on the pit straight. So it's just going from bad to worse now for him and for his teammate. And he's going to go down a lap on the leader. Just hasn't been Quick Killer's day, has it? And Dixon with a new fastest lap. As Terades enters the pits for Williams from 3rd position. So Dylan goes through, no problem. Max will do likewise. He'll be going up to 4th position. It's been quite a good rise back up actually for Max, because he was at the rear of the field at the end of the safety car period. He's got himself up to 4th place. And Mielios should get in front of Terades here, and he does so. So the undercut has worked for him, and so he gets in front of Terades. And Rosie, not quite the same actually. So she remains in 9th ahead of Page, who's not pitted yet in this race, but she doesn't need to. No, she puts a wheel on the grass there, which is not what she should be doing. So Ginge, whose car is controlled by the AO, comes into the pits. Meeman Moody does the same. So Dixon moves ahead of Ginge and Meeman Moody. Quick Killer gets penalised for speeding in the pits, and it's race over for him. So he goes no further. We'll go back to the battle for 4th places. Marcel's right behind Max as they go onto the pit straight. And my does gets the time penalty for track limits as well. As Quick Killer pulls off the circuit and out of the race he goes. So the Warrior in 12th place on his own at the moment. So Dixon coming around to complete lap 20 of 58. His lead is now 12.5 seconds over Big Balls Bells, with Dylan behind in third on tyres that are 3 laps fresher than Big Balls Bells. Oh, Marcel! He touches the wall. I wonder if he's got front wing damage yet. I think he may well have done, so that's him going into the pits. He does not get the car slowed down in time, and he gets a 5-second penalty. Paige looking to fend off Exotic Alpha here. I think she's going to struggle here and just allows the Alpha tyres to go through. And someone has gone off. Is that the race leader? It is. So Dixon's gone off on the exit of turn 12. Now he does rejoin, but Big Balls Bells has closed right back in on him. So the gap is back down now to 3 seconds. So Dixon's lost at least 10 seconds with that spin. Dixon's lead has now come down, continuing to shrink. Mielio's passing Statistic King for 5th place. Raid's looking to get through. Likewise, may be able to do it on the pit straight. He needs a good exit coming out of the penultimate turn and the last turn in order to have a go. So onto the pit straight now. Marcel looking to get through on the Warrior. So rear wing open. Can Marcel find a way through? Should do on the fresh soft compound. Oh, he's made contact. He closed him he came in too close and he's reset the car back onto the track. Against the rules, I'm afraid. So that'll be a penalty coming Marcel's way. So in my dust is in 13th. And Rosie's gone off track and she's lost her front wing. So that'll be her off into the pits very shortly. I don't know how she's managed to do that. But that'll be her going back in for another set of tyres. And Terade's trying to get through on Statistic King. He's got the inside line for 14, but can't get through at the moment. And Rosie goes for a little bit of lawn mowing. He joins. Now Terade's looking to get through on Statistic King. Pit straight now. Rear wing open. Someone's gone off in sector. Oh, that would just be Rosie coming back into the pits. Terade's on the inside. And that's him through into 6th place, is it? Yeah. So that's the Williams passing the Mercedes. Rosie coming back to the pits. And looks like Will's had a bit of a moment as well, but has continued. And Dylan's passed Big Balls Bells for 2nd. We didn't see it, but he's just gone through on the exit of turn 10. So Dylan up to 2nd place in the Red Bull as Big Balls Bells continues to struggle. He struggled to get that car turned in. Now I just wonder, will he need to go into the pits because he's dropping back all the time at the moment? I think he's had an incident somewhere as Big Boss Bells, hence why Dylan was able to get through. Yes, he is. So Big Boss Bells into the pits at the end of lap 23. Gets the car slowed in time. Will's out of the race. He's crashed out in the Aston Martin, and the safety car has been deployed once again. So he might just slowing down there. Now, what will the leaders do? Now, Dixon's yet to come into the pits. He's almost catching up to Rosie, but you're not allowed to overtake under safety car conditions anyway, even if there is a back marker. So Marcel comes back to the pits. Now they want to get out of there as soon as he can before the leader does come round. He won't want to go a lap down. So Dixon, does he come in? Yes, he does. I would imagine Dylan will do likewise. In fact, Dylan decides to stay out. He wants to get track position. So Dylan leads the race. And it looks like Eat My Dust has gone a lap down now as well, so that's bad news for him. Marcel is still on the lead lap. So Dylan is going to lead, or approach the safety car now. Now, has he stayed out there too long now? He can open up this gap. He's going to struggle to open up a gap, if I'm honest with you, because Dixon's rejoined on a set of softs. So 15 drivers left in the race, both Aston Martins out now. It looks like Dylan's just let the back marker through there. Oh, and Eat My Dust is out. So Eat My Dust, by overtaking the safety car, is out of the race. I think because he overtook on the yellow flags when he was not supposed to do so, because he was behind Dylan. So Eat My Dust's race has come to an end. So he's another retirement from this Australian Grand Prix. Now, has Dylan made a mistake in not coming into the pits? Now, the only driver's not pitted in this race yet is Paige, and she's in 8th place, and she doesn't have a time penalty to her name. So we're close to reaching half distance in this Australian Grand Prix. Dylan leads, Dixon second with Melios in third, Big Boss Bells in fourth, Charades fifth, Statistic King sixth, Max seventh, Page eighth, Warrior ninth, and Exotic Alpha in 10th place. Rosie will remain on the lead lap. She'll catch right back up. She's very lucky actually, because she nearly got lapped by the race leader before the safety car was deployed. Now, in regards to the championship, with Dixon second and Big Boss Bells in fourth, Dixon would get 33 points because he's got the fastest lap, plus 1 for the pole position, so that's 34. Big Boss Bells would get only 20 points. Paige has just been penalised, although she's come into a collision with the Warrior under the safety car, so she'll have to take that 5 seconds for when she does come in for her first pit stop. What I was going to say was Dixon would get 34 points. And Big Boss Bells would get 20, so the gap at the top would come down to 61 points with 3 races to go. I don't think the safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap. We'll see how quickly Rosie and Marcel can catch up. Now, Ginge and Moody are in 13th and 14th on the lap down. They are cars that are controlled by the AI, so we don't expect them to be involved in the action anymore. I don't think they'll be able to be allocated any points. And Big Boss Bowles has now been penalised for ignoring the yellow flags, which is interesting. I wonder what's happened there. I think the safety car is going to be staying out there for one more lap now, unless it does decide. If it is coming in at the end of this lap, so we're going to go back underway. We're going to get back on the way here in Melbourne. Dylan slows the field down. Now Dixon cannot pass Ginge until the start-finish line. So he needs to get on with it here as Dylan pulls away on the restart. Now Dixon, did he overtake before the... Well, he overtook Ginge before the line. Will he get penalised for that though, I wonder? Now, Big Boss Bells will want to get on with this here and get past Mielios for 3rd place, because Mielios was able to complete an overcut on him thanks to the safety car. Dylan is under threat now from Dixon. And now they both go through turns 5 and now 6. Big Boss Bells, can he get through on Mielios on the inside into 6? Yes, he can. So Big Boss Bells through into 3rd place. And Dylan trying to go to the outside of Dylan before they get into turn 9. And Dixon's through. So Dixon takes the lead again of the Australian Grand Prix. Dylan could do nothing about that. Dixon had far too much grip. And Dylan may be ruining that mistake. And the bad news for him is that Big Boss Bells is going to be on his tail very shortly on the fresh softs. So we can see Paige making her way through the back marker of Moody. And now Warrior moving alongside. The two make contact. And Rosie alongside Paige as they go through turns 14. And they're approaching 15. Dixon with a new fastest lap. And Marcel has been involved in another collision. Let's continue though. Dixon has got another time penalty in this race. 3 seconds it is. Dylan likewise, and so has Rosie. So the only drivers that don't have penalties are Statistic King, Max, Ginge and Moody. So Big Boss Bells through turn 8. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart. So Big Boss Bells is within a second of Dylan. Warrior nearly losing it now on the exit of 12. But Dixon has a lead of over 3 seconds as he completes lap 28. Big Boss Bells not able to get through on Dylan. There's no DRS yet. It's been re-enabled now, but the detection point for here is just before the start-finish line. Well, it's before the start-finish line anyway. As I think someone had a spin of their own. Couldn't quite tell who it was. So Therese is in 5th behind Mielios. Now Big Boss Bells will be looking to get past Dylan here. He won't do it in turn 6. He might do the same as what Dixon did earlier. And, oh, Therese has spun. And he's damaged his front wing. So, Therese out of 5th place, has gone round. And that'll be him off into the pits. Dylan nearly losing it there. And Big Boss Bells is going to use the DRS to good effect. He pulls alongside, and this is surely second place for the McLaren driver, and it is so. Now, and Dylan running wide there at turn 14. The Statistic King in 5th place, holding off the Warrior. Exotic Alpha's on fresher tyres than these two. Dixon's able to produce another fastest lap of the race. So the Warrior fancying a go on Statistic King with mediums that are 6 laps fresher than the Mercedes. Does he pull alongside? He does so. Is there enough room? Not quite. The Warrior sits back for now. And now he's got Exotic Alpha. He's going to have more grip also than the Ferrari, but the Ferrari's going to have a go on the inside of Statistic King. Statistic King left an awful amount of space, and Exotic Alpha took advantage of the pair of them. Great move there from Exotic Alpha to put his AlphaTauri up into 5th position. Max has got a penalty now to his name, 3 seconds. So the top 3 will be pitting again before this race is over. I would imagine all of them will be on the soft compound for the last stint. So Max passes Statistic King for 7th place, and now Rosie looks to try and get through on both of them. She's got past Statistic King. Can she make a move on Max on the inside here? She thought about it, but Max shut the door in time. And he remains in front of the Williams. So Therese, who's in 12th now, will be praying for a safety car. So there's Rosie behind Max, rear wing open on the Williams. Can she get through into 7th place? Max is leaving the door open there. And Rosie may be able to get through on the inside. Max doesn't leave enough space, and Rosie nearly loses it. And Statistic King gets back through again. So Rosie's got it all to do. She nearly loses it on the pit straight. Oh, she spins! Front wing gone. Debris everywhere on the pit straight. That may be enough to deploy the virtual safety car. It has done. So, yeah, she made a mess of it on the last corner. And that'll be her off into the pits. Now, I'm not expecting Dixon to go into the pits. Coming into turn 11 now. He needs to make sure he stays within the delta time. And Dixon decides not to pit him. I think that's wise of him to do so. Now, will Dylan decide to pit him? No, pitted in under the first virtual safety car. He's coming in he's coming in again. Gets the car slowed down in time. The Red Bull crew are out ready for him. Soft tyres going on. And out he goes. And we are back underway. Don't think anyone's got drive-through penalties after that. No, there isn't any drivers, I should say. Nearly muddled up on my words there. Statistically, can he get through on Dylan? Dylan will want to get in front here, and Dylan does so. So that's crucial, actually, for Dylan. Rejoins in 7th place. Won't have too many cars to get by here. Max is ahead only by around about 2.5 seconds. So it shouldn't be too difficult for Dylan to dispatch him. Now the quicker Dylan goes here, the closer he can get to Dixon and Big Boss Bells for when they come in for their last stops. Closing down on Max all the time here. Oh, and Max not taking the best line through 11. And Dylan wasting no time here, getting on the inside. And that's him through. Nice move there from Dylan. Goes up into 6th place. And someone's gone off in sector 3. Oh, it's Exotic Alpha. So that's one less car for Dylan to get past. So Exotic Alpha's got damage to his front wing by the looks of it. So that'll be him going into the pits soon, I would reckon. Oh, and Big Boss is out. The championship leader has crashed out of the race. That might bring out the safety car. That is a very dangerous place for him to go off. And Therese has gone as well on the exit turn 12. Now, that is surely going to be enough to bring out the safety car, I would have thought. Yes, it is. Safety car deployed. So Big Boss Bells has crashed out of the race. That has massive implications to the championship. And Therese gone as well, who was lying in 12th position. So Dixon has an enormous opportunity to close down that championship gap now, with him leading. But the bad news for him is that Dylan is going to be on fresher tyres. I think if Dixon wants to maintain his lead, he needs to pit in this lap. He's doing so now, and I reckon he'll go onto the soft compound. And I think Mielios and the Warrior will decide to head into the pits. So Dixon does rejoin. Mielios does pit in, as does the Warrior. So Dylan may go up into 2nd place here on the road, which will be good for him, because now he can go and attack Dixon for when this race does get back underway again. Well, that's a big shot, that, for Big Boss Bells. Went into the race with a 74-point lead. Well, that's going to be cut down significantly. Could be as low as 33 by the time this race is over. So Dixon's caught up to the safety car now. Dylan up into 2nd place with Melios 3rd, Marcel 4th, who could go to the end on the hard compound, but he's going to be vulnerable to the likes of the Warrior, Exotic Alpha, Max and Statistic King. Paige comes in for her first stop of the race. And she'll rejoin in 9th position. So, safety car remains out there for one more lap. So we've got 12 drivers circulating, including Moody and Ginge, whose car's still controlled by the AI. And looking at the penalties as well, Dixon's got 6 seconds, Dylan's got 3, Mielios has got 3, Marcel's on 6, Warrior's on 6, as is Exotic Alpha, Max and Rosie have got 3 seconds each. So Statisticking could be in play for the race victory here, but he's got a ton of cars to get by. This is most certainly going to be an interesting end to the Grand Prix here, with Big Boss Bells' first retirement of the campaign. Dylan's got a golden opportunity to really close in here, with 3 rounds remaining after this. We go to Spain and then Portugal, and then the last round will be at the Imola circuit in the region of Emilia and Romagna in the country of Italy. So the safety car coming in this lap, there's your confirmation. So Dixon decides to slow the pack down now and allow the safety car time to get into the pits. And then Dixon will make his way through past the pit straight, still in the race lead. And Max has been penalised for a collision with Page, actually. So that's another 5 seconds for him. This is going to make for an interesting restart, because there's some drivers on different compounds to others as well, just as something else to throw in. Dixon nearly made contact with Dylan on the restart, and Dylan's actually been penalised for it. Now, I wonder if the stewards will make of that by the time this race is over, but we're back on the way on lap 37. The Warrior making a move on the inside of Marcel into turn 1. Marcel goes wide off the track, but the Warrior should go through here, and he does so. So the Ferrari up into 4th position. It's Exotic Alpha down the inside of the Mercedes. The Mercedes doesn't leave him enough space, and Exotic Alpha nearly going into the wall on the exit of turn 3. And now Statisticking waiting to have a go, and Exotic Alpha gets another penalty for track limits. So Mielios is in 3rd place on the mediums. If he can pull away from those on the softs, that could play into his hands later on, as Exotic Alpha gets through on Marcel finally, and that's him up to 5th on the road. Now can Statisticking get through on Marcel here? Marcel nearly putting his teammate in the wall there, but he just leaves enough space for him to pull alongside and get past. And Max waiting to have a go in the other AlphaTauri. Marcel, it looks like Marcel made a mistake, but I think his car may be damaged actually, or he's coming into the pits to get a set of the soft compound tyres on. So the Warrior behind Mielios in the battle for 3rd place as they go through turns 1 and 2. Here we go then, the Warrior to the outside of the Alpine. Can you make the move stick? He thought about it, but can't quite get through. And Statisticking on the inside of Exotic Alpha through turn 4. Does he get through? He does so, yes. So Statisticking should be through here finally. And Exotic Alpha goes into the wall. I think that's damage to his front wing, I would have thought. So he's fallen down to 9th position as the Warrior makes a move on Mielios. I'm not sure if the Alpine's really fighting this one. The Warrior to the inside, and he gets through, forcing Mielios to run out wide, and the Warrior's through into 3rd place now. So Statistic King will be looking to pull away from those behind him. Page is in 7th now, with Rosie in 8th. And the DRS is now enabled again, as the Warrior looks to close in on the leaders. And he's slotting together into the pits for another set of tyres. Is this going to be... Is he going to decide to keep going, I wonder? I think he may as well do. With all the drama we've had today, we've had 3 safety cars. We could well have a 4th later on. So Dixon, 2.4 seconds ahead of Dylan. As it stands with the penalties, Dixon will still take victory. Rosie gets a penalty now for track limits. That's her 2nd of the race. So, has to be careful from here on in, really. She's in 8th place. So Mielio's staying in touch with the Warrior. Now I would reckon the leaders are going to start to struggle on their softs before the race is over. Or they may not do, who knows? "19 laps remaining. Dixon on course to take another victory, which will close down the gap in the title race. Victory number 3 of the season. And Paige thinking about a move on Max. She doesn't normally do overtakes, does Paige? She'd rather just take it steadily out there. And she's doing a fine job today. Her highest finish this season has been 8th last week at the Belgian Grand Prix. Someone's had a spin. Is that Rosie again? It is. And some of her front wings gone missing as well. And she's made a really poor attempt of getting the car pointing the right way again. So that'll be a new front wing coming her way. And someone else... No, that's sector 2. So Rosie off into the pits at the end of this lap. That's one less headache there for Paige. And she looks to try and get through on Max. She thought about it through turn 13. Oh, and Paige runs wide there, although that may well have been a glitch. DRS open on the pit straight. Max decides not to go defensive here. Paige is going to go through, I think. No, she doesn't. So Max fights back. As it stands, with the penalties applied, Paige will still finish ahead of Max. So she just needs to keep her car on the racetrack. So Rosie will fall to 10th place. She's in 10th place right now. She's well ahead of Ginge and Mima Moody are a lap down on the leaders anyway. And Mielio's getting another penalty now. 6 seconds it is for him. Now all of this could play into Statistic King's hands because he does not have a penalty at all to his name. And Rosie into the pits and retiring. So she decides she does not want to go to the checkered flag and get the points for finishing 10th. Here we go, look, can Paige get through on Max here? So enter turn 13. Not through there. And Marcel with a penalty now for track limits. So Max gets another penalty for track limits now. Statistic King in 5th place. Still chasing Mielios, but I think he's starting to struggle on his tyres as Mielios starts to close in on the Warrior and Dylan and Dixon. So Paige with the rear wing open. Closes in on Max again. She waits behind him. And now she'll go through the next few turns. She needs to get a good exit out of the last turn and get alongside the AlphaTauri. She's too cautious through that. She needs to try and push a little bit harder if she can. Rear wing open again. Now is this going to be a move for Paige this time? Into turn 3. Contact made. Max runs wide. Does Paige get through? She does at last. Max goes for a spin. I think Paige was entitled to some space there, and Paige has got the reward that she deserves. And she's run wide on the exit of the corner. And going back to the leaders as Dixon has picked up another penalty now. Oh, Dylan very nearly lost it coming out of turn 12 there. So all Dylan needs to do at this stage is get to within 1 second of Dixon to take the win, but it's proven to be a tall order at the moment. The Warriors another 7 seconds back, so Dixon will still take the victory as it stands. And Dylan with a penalty now. That takes his total to 11. That could, if he keeps up with the penalties, he could lose second place to the Warrior. So 8 drivers out of the race, including both Williams, both Aston Martins. We've got a Haas, let's see. Oh, the Warrior's gone. The Warrior's crashed out on the exit of turn 8, and we've got yet another safety car. I don't know how he's managed to do that, to be honest with you. By the way, the safety car has been deployed once more. I think we're going to see more activity in the pit lane. Now, if you're Dixon, I would say you would need to come into the pits. We'll wait and see what he decides to do. He stays out this time. Dylan comes in, unsurprisingly. He's got a 5-second penalty as well to serve. Now, Mielios, he's surely going to be pitting to get some soft tyres on. I'd be very surprised if he stays out. And he does decide to stay out. Statistic King does the same. Paige comes in for another set of softs. It looks like Marcel's gone for another spin in the other Mercedes. So even he can't keep his car on the track under the safety car conditions. So Paige will rejoin in 5th place. Can she achieve an even better result? And the good news for her is, she's in play for a podium. Very much in play for a podium. So Marcel will rejoin in 8th. So this is our 4th safety car of the race. The Warrior joins his teammate on the sidelines, so no Ferraris will be making to the checkered flag. So Dixon in the lead with Melio's second, Statisticking in third. Dylan on the fresh tyres is now in 4th. He's taken 5 seconds of his penalty at that last stop. Can he get in front of Statisticking though when the Melios and Dixon? It's not going to be very easy for him. But he knows he can do it. Page will be thinking, I've got a great chance here now. So we are down to just 10 runners in this Australian Grand Prix. Yes, it has been a race of attrition. And it looks like the AlphaTauri of Max has gone off the racetrack. He's recovered though. It looks like Marcel has had a moment as well, but he's continuing on in the Mercedes. But they're both going through turn 11 now. I think the safety car will be staying out there for one more lap, but we'll see. So, what will Dixon decide to do on the restart? He knows he's got pace, but he won't have as much pace as Dylan will. So Dixon, hoping he'll get to the checker flag without any drama here. He knows he'll gain a big chunk on Big Boss Bells by the time this race is over. All 10 cars are back up now, so the safety car will be going in at the end of this lap. In terms of the fight in the other positions in the championship, Ginge won't be eligible to get those points because his car's been controlled by the AI throughout the whole race. So it looks as though that Melios is going to gain a lot here. Should he finish second? Probably won't do, but let's just say he does. That would increase his points tally from 50 to 82. He'd move up to third in the championship. So there's your confirmation. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So Dixon in the race lead. He's hoping to pull away and be on trouble for Melios. This is going to be an intense end to the Grand Prix. 11 laps to go once Dixon crosses over the line. So Dixon pulls away on the restart in the race lead. Oh, he nearly lost it coming out of the turn. Now Dylan can't overtake until the start-finish line on statistic, but he can do now. So Dixon leads still. Dylan desperate to stay in touch, and now statistic needs to go defensive here. Dylan will go to the outside as they go towards turn 3. Contact made! And Dylan nearly ran wide. He slowed the car down in time. But Statistic King most certainly had to go very defensive. And now Dylan thinking about a move at turn 5. Can't make it through, and Statistic King defending for all he can right now. Dylan got better drive coming out of turns 6 and 7. Now through the kink of 8. And Dylan gets past the Mercedes. And there's Exotialva on the inside of Page into 5th place, and it allows Marcel to get through as well. So the Mercedes drivers are making up ground, and Max going to the outside of Page as they head towards turn 11. Max gets through. Page won't like that one bit, losing 3 positions in the space of a few corners. Dylan right behind Mielios now as these two fights over 2nd position. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart, remember. But I think Dylan's going to get past the Alpine here. He's run out of ERS for a moment there. Won't get the job done through turn 1. Here we go. Dylan to the outside of the Alpine. And this is surely going to be 2nd place for him. Should he get the car so down. Melios makes him work hard for it. And Dylan goes through. So Dylan gets through into 2nd now in the Red Bull. He's got 3 seconds to make up on Dixon. So as it stands with the penalties, he just needs to be within 3 seconds of him by the checkered flag. The only way that could change if Dylan gets another penalty. That'll throw another spanner into the mix. The DRS has been enabled. Now we can see all these fighting their position as Exotialva going toe-to-toe with Statistic King. Statistic King runs wide. Exotialva gets through, as does Marcel. So Statistic King's about to lose out here. I don't think the DRS is enabled yet, actually. We're still on the 2nd lap of the restart, so it'll be next time around. This is a great battle going on, not just in the battle for the race victory, but also between Marcel, Statistic King, Max and Page, and Exotialva. So Dixon with a new fastest up of the race. 1 minute 23. It is for him. Now Marcel won't be able to use the DRS. He's on fresher tyres than Exotialva. This is crucial for Marcel to get in front here. Oh, that's Exotialva crashing out. So that's another casualty for this race, and we have our 5th, yes, our 5th safety car of this Grand Prix. So Exotialva spins out of 4th place. Yet another twist in this Grand Prix, would you believe it? This is bad news for Dixon, because now Dylan's close to within that 3-second margin. What will Dixon decide to do here? I think he may as well come into the pits. And I think it depends what Dylan decides to do. And then there were 9. 7 of which being controlled by humans. Dixon decides to stay out again. What about any of the other drivers? Is Page considering it. There's someone going in. That's Statistic King. He wants a fresh set of the £1, and so he enters the pits. The Mercedes crew are out, ready for him. He'll rejoin behind the two back markers of Ginge and Moody. It could well be just the single lap behind the safety car. So Dixon still leads with Dylan second, Nielio's third, Marcel fourth, Max fifth, Page sixth. Statistic King is seventh, Ginge now eighth, Moody ninth. So, Statistic King has caught up. And the safety car, I think, is going to go in at the end of this lap. I mean, everyone is back together now. Unless at this stage of the race, it may just do another lap or something. The lights on the safety car are still flashing, so it'll go around one more time. Now, what will Dixon do here? He may decide to come in. Now, Statistic needs to be careful here. He doesn't get done for overtaking under the safety car. He's just overtook the two back marker cars. I don't know if that'll be allowed by the stewards, but we'll see later. So it's going to be a 6-lap shootout, providing we don't get any more interruptions. Dixon has a 9-second time penalty, as does Marcel. Dylan, Melios and Max have got 6-second penalties each. What an opportunity for Page or Statistic King to get a really good result out of this now. I don't think Dixon's going to stand a chance of holding back Dylan, if I'm honest with you. But even if Dylan was to get past Dixon, he's not out of the woods. He won't be out of the woods because his time penalty could still drop him back behind Page or Statistic King. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So Dixon, for the 5th time, will lead the field on the restart. So when will he decide to go here? There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart, so that may well give Dixon some breathing space, although Dylan is going to be having more grip. His soft tyres will be beginning to fall away by this stage now, but he should still have enough in there. And I think Dixon's deciding to wait until the last minute. There we go, look, on the restart. Lap 53. Dixon not going for it into turn 1. There's Mielios, who's on old medium still. We're just watching further behind as Page and Statistic King are on... Well, Statistic King's on the freshest tyres out of the whole field now. So he should use that to his advantage. as the drivers make their way through turn 5. And Dylan right on Dixon's tail here. It's not close enough to have a go at the moment. Wide, I think that was a glitch actually, so we carry on as we are. Now, can he get a better drive coming out of turn 12? Dylan now has a penalty. So he's on the same penalty as Dixon now. That's another spanner thrown into the mix. And Statisticing's passed Page now as well. So as it stands, with the penalties applied, he's going to come away as the race winner, and Page is going to finish second. But we've still got 5 laps remaining. Now, Statisticing will want to get on with this and try and pass Max, Marcel, and Emilios, but he can't take too many risks here. Dixon looking to go defensive here. What he needs to do is pull out a 3-second margin on Emilios and Max, and a 9-second margin on Statisticing, but the gap at the moment to Statisticing is nearly 5 seconds, and Statisticing is on much fresher tyres. So there's Dylan, staying in touch with the leader. No, there's no DRS yet, but it will be applied soon, or it will be enabled at the end of this. Oh, Marcel nearly losing it on the exit of 12. That could have been him out of the race before the race is over. Now Statisticing, can he complete a switchback on the AlphaTauri? He's losing time at the moment, so he needs to get on with this here, does Statisticing, if he wants to win this race now. So Dixon, beginning lap 55, still in front of the Red Bull. Through turn 1 they go. Dixon going defensive as they go towards turn 3. So Dylan right on Dixon's tail still at the moment. They're on the same penalty, the same time penalty as each other, so whoever finishes in front on the road will finish ahead of the other driver, but will it be the race victory? Or could it be just as high as 6th and 7th? Well, it won't be as high as 6th and 7th because Marcel has a 9-second penalty also, so it could be 5th and 6th. And now Dylan will use the DRS here. Can he pull alongside Dixon this time? Not this time around. Dixon needs to be strong here. Oh, Dylan got the power down a little bit too early there on the exit of 13. Dixon really is up against it now as Dylan gets the rear wing open. He's too far back to do it on the pit straight. 3 to go. Dylan got great drive coming out of 1. And this should be him taking the lead here on the road. Will Dixon get his elbows out? Yes, he will. He runs. Oh, and I think someone's gone off the track. Emilios has spun round on the exit of 2. So he's out of the frame for a possible victory. Marcel's up to 3rd now, Statisticing 4th because he's got past Max. And Emilio's struggling at the moment. So we go back to the battle for the lead here because Dixon is still in front. Will he go for it with DRS here? Too far back at the moment. So he waits behind once more. So Dylan right behind Dixon here. Oh, Dylan's being penalised yet again. That's really bad news for him now. That's his chances of the race victory gone, most certainly. There's Statistic King. The gap at the moment between himself and Dixon is 7.9 seconds. That would be enough for him to take the victory, but only just. So Dixon has an 8-second margin over Statistic King. He's on much fresher tyres. 2 laps remaining then. Dylan right back, closing in on Dixon once more. Rear wing open once more for the Red Bull. Dylan's just pushing far too hard at the moment. That cost him a mistake. Got in that extra penalty. And Dixon running wide on the exit of the penultimate turn. That may give Dylan a chance to take the lead on the road this time. We're beginning the last lap of this race. Now, can Dylan get good drive out on this time? He does, though. Definitely better drive than Dixon. Rear wing open. Which way is Dixon going to go? Dylan's going to go to the inside this time. And is this him into the lead this time? The two make contact. Dixon stays ahead this time. Now they want to keep it clean here. Dylan's still behind once more. Paige has got past Max by the looks of it, although she thought, but Max has just run her out wide. So as it stands, Statistic King is going to be the race winner for today. Dylan still trying to pass Dixon here. He's got one more DRS zone that he can do an overtake on. Rear wing open. Dixon's out of his ERS, so this could be Dylan's chance to go for it here. Right round the outside. Does he get through? I think he has done it. Although Dixon's trying to run him out wide. The two make contact and Dylan's through. Dixon trying to fight back there into turn 15. Incredible racing between these two. They're entering the last corner now. Dixon's going to take the checkered flag. Dylan won't win the race, and neither will Marcel. So Statistic King is going to win the Australian Grand Prix with the penalties applied. Statistic King has done it. What about Paige? Only 4 for her, so Dixon's second ahead of Dylan. So Statistic King wins the Australian Grand Prix ahead of Dixon and Dylan. Paige misses out on a podium by less than half a second. Marcel's 5th, Max 6th, Melio 7th, and it's the TIR cars of Ginger Moody completing the finishes. What an Australian Grand Prix. What a race we have had here today. And we have a different race winner of Statistic King. First win of the year for him. The first win of the season, I should say. Terrific stuff. What a brilliant race we've had here today. Here's your race result then. So Statistic King wins, Dixon second with the penalties applied and gets the point for the fastest lap. Dylan is third ahead of Paige, her best result of the season in fourth, ahead of Marcel and Max and Mielios. Ginge and Moody made it to the end, although both their cars were controlled by the AI, so they won't get the points for finishing there. Exotic Alpha did not finish, neither did the Warrior or Rosie or Big Boss Bells. So Raids and Will also retired. Quick Killer, Wild Dog, Leclerc, Guna and Eat My Dust also retired from the events. 33 34 points, I should say, to Dixon. So the gap from 75 has come down to 41 points between himself and Big Boss Bells, who did not finish today with 3 rounds to go here. The next round will be in Barcelona in Spain. Qualifying will be on Friday at 7 p.m. British Summer Time, and the race, same time, Saturday, 9 p.m. British Summer Time. Well, that's all from us. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. We most certainly do, and we can't wait to do it all again next week. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.